Sebastian Ogórek, editor-in-chief of money.pl. Good day. I have the pleasure today of talking to two very interesting persons who decided to join the strength of a corporate and a startup and together create one project, one product, which launches exactly today. On that, I'll be talking to Bartosz Ciołkowski from Mastercard. Hello. Good day. And to Dawid Rożek from ZEN. Hello. Good day and welcome everybody. Thank you for the invitation. Well, to start with, could you please tell us what exactly is ZEN? What is this product which is launching today, Wednesday? Well, it is a very interesting thing time-wise. As a year ago, I was announcing ZEN during Impact, and today, a year later, exactly today, I'm showing it today and inviting everybody to visit ZEN.com to check for yourselves what ZEN is. However, if the question is addressed to me, ZEN.com is a very special offer of benefits for everybody who buys and sells on the internet. Built on dozens of years' experience of my own when I was launching as a small salesman on Allegro. Well, later I had an internet shop throughout Europe, which was transformed and recreated to a global auctioneering platform, thanks to which over 20 million customers can use every day by buying various types of products such as games or electronic devices. However, what is always an issue for companies once they launch on the internet is numerous threats that they don't know exist. Well, I had many of those issues. It cost me a lot emotionally and financially. Thanks to that, I should like subsequent persons and entrepreneurs wanting to delve into the e-commerce market to have ZEN, to have this peace of spirit and peace of mind which I didn't have and I had to learn from the beginning. Well, ZEN is, I understand it, as a sort of portfolio, which means you can easily and quickly settle your transactions over the internet, and additionally it provides this peace of mind. What is this peace of mind about? Well, here the basic thing when selling on the internet is the issue with transactions. Usually the model works in the form that we tune in the payments and we can see whether they're working or not. Very often when we're losing our money, when we don't have the knowledge or the competence, is it for sure that when the transaction is going on, how to secure them? This is what ZEN takes upon itself. This is what ZEN takes up on the product. It gives this protection that the moment you launch it, when you want to buy what is important on your business, we are your security, we are your peace of mind. We are the ZEN, which takes those hard elements upon itself and delivers them for yourself to do whatever you have provided to as a main vision. However, if you're buying through ZEN, then also as a physical person, as behind every company there's a physical person, then you can easily get an automated 1-year prolonged guarantee that works for everybody, which is something that makes us different from what we have in the market, plus the ZEN Care. So if you have any issue with your deal, then now you can easily report it and we will actually have the transaction, have this issue done for you and resolved for you. That's it in terms of the whole offer of value. What is also important is liquidity. Every company, which, yes, the product launches today, and I have to add by saying something, since on the one hand there's a peace of mind for the buyer, on the other hand for the seller, the question is, why should this peace of mind, I mean, perhaps there were some sleepless nights before you launched ZEN together with Mastercard. What did it look like and who came to who? Mastercard to ZEN, or was it ZEN over to Mastercard? Oh, that's a very interesting question indeed. The way it went is what actually it was Mastercard coming to G2A, as back then we're not absolutely speaking of any startup, but of a global company which is perceived as a worldwide success of a platform in this area. And there were various discussions on how we could function in this area on the financial offer. We saw the project, which back then wasn't called ZEN entirely, but it was an attempt to put at ease the spirit in the finance in this rather black and white scope, such as a sketch on a piece of paper, which we liked a lot, which gave us a tremendous energy. It was a bit difficult to believe in the beginning that the scale that Dawid mentioned would be feasible, but here, this is how ZEN launches, so yes, we made it. And obviously sleepless nights were numerous, as without them that couldn't have been done properly. Let us hope, however, that now it will be a bit more peaceful. It will be the strength of ZEN on both the sides, but I must ask, how is it possible that Mastercard, a massive company with such R&D developments going for so many innovations, needs a startup to introduce a new product? Why didn't you just do it, as they say, organically, but you needed somebody to work with? Well, that's absolutely a ZEN project. So this ZEN was invented and this project was created. We were only the platform which gave a certain technology aspect that allows for the implementation onto the market. And we obviously had the tremendous pleasure of working with these marketing aspects. And the way it is that in today's very dynamic world, it doesn't matter whether it is a corporation of 60 years experience or a startup which is only launching. Today what counts is the idea, its execution. And it might turn out that in 5 years ZEN will have a larger value on the stock exchange market than Mastercard today. This is what we experienced over the last years. And obviously this is what I'm hoping for ZEN. But what was the main satisfaction was the cooperation, the openness, and looking as to who could help whom. And that was really a lot of it, and we're very happy for it. Well, as a startup, even one coming from a massive company and a massive organization, what could you learn from Mastercard? What is it that you got? Because I understand the key thing is that you can launch throughout Europe. Mastercard helps you in organizing it, for it not only to be a single market launch. Well, yes, absolutely. So here, what I was enchanted with in our relations in Mastercard is understanding that the world is changing and its adaptation, which is key, not to sleep the moments through which happen in the financial markets, and here be it the network of contacts or simply the local solutions, which, when we asked, were looked for very operatively, not on paper but in practice. Well, all of that was very special, starting from the management board of Mastercard itself, looking at the local Polish brand, which from the point of view of a major organization, or a small one, is still the same. Everything depends on people. When we have the right people who are, in terms of mindset and culture, created a good company, then we can look for solutions to any problems. This is what happens in our relation that we have with Mastercard. And especially after today, when we're launching the product publicly, I'm hoping for more steps, because we're only beginning. The product in itself is broad and it gives quite a value both for the physical persons and for companies, but it is yet the beginning of the way to doing something really special. Here, Bartosz mentioned that in a couple of years it could be larger and worth more than Mastercard. Well, only and exclusively a fun with words, or is it rather something of a prophecy? Well, I always maintain the modicum of modesty. I do what I planned. That is, delivery, zero effort. E-bank, that is, simplicity in customers' experience without any asterisks. And as I saw as how much energy and work it costs to do something like that. And, well, if I were to give a simple example, if I were to do it years ago, then the company that I built before today would be 10 times larger. So looking at it from the point of view of my experience, I should like to translate it for others. My motivation in and of itself, in order to understand, is not money. As that's not what drives me, but if I have the possibility, if I can give an example to other companies that you can do something special, something large, I want to do it. And I'm hoping that ZEN will be followed by numerous other companies to do large things as well. I have to ask about it, because you said that the key thing was the cooperation and the people who simply can find an understanding. What is the gene? What is the ability? That means that probably somewhere out there, when there's some more, well, Bartosz, Dawid, don't get offended, some more chaos yet, that this chaos is only being shaped, it creates this peace of mind. And ZEN and Mastercard, where you actually have, when you must have some schemata, some processes, what actually is it that makes it become ZEN? Over to Bartosz. Well, I think you just described it in the question. It is the coupling of the two words. And in and of itself, the uncompromising efficiency of Dawid. Never before have I seen such determination in delving into the details and the solutions. As it might have seemed, well, I'm writing it down, okay, details. I don't like these two very much important aspects. As I always had thought that I don't like the word no, then in case of Dawid, the impossible, well, there is no such thing, everything is possible virtually. On the other hand, this openness to coupling experience. After all, ZEN is backed by tremendous experience in the so-called digital economy and G2A, something which we, during this project, learned a lot. On the other hand, with us is the experience in transactions. Listening to each other and mutual advisors was the crucial, large element, which I hope will bear fruit in a very good project. Well, I'm asking that not without a reason, and here I'm relating to Dawid. What exactly is there in Poland that such connections of a corporation, of a small company, or a company which is only launching, are not that numerous? What is the blocker for that? As we're talking about a lot is being reported, a lot is written, very often experts take the floor, but I'm very happy I could talk to you because that's specific, that's something which is tangible. Why so few? Well, thank you very much for the question. Well, well, if we knew that, I understand we'd both be having the Silicon Valley on the Vistula River. It seems to me that our history has shown the way of thinking, which is not yet that open to us, thinking of the entrepreneurs and the new businesses as something that is supposed to build Poland, that is supposed to build Europe, and I hope in future it will change, where the major companies will be taking a long-term look at the product, at the project, rather than at the quarter or half a year. As in this mental thinking, there is no way you could do something large. Amazon built for 10 years when it was already a specific project, and it was today. So I'm thinking that this perspective of horizontal thinking and entering the details that Bartek mentioned, that is, you need to have those matrices retained and joined as a symbiosis, this yin-yang, this is the way we have to think of the cooperation, this is the way we have to think of creation. If we're thinking of this company which is only launching, that tomorrow it will give us a God knows what business, we're losing in the beginning. The major companies were never built like that. Obviously, there is always a niche where we define ourselves, but it's still a lot of elements joined together when in the end the major definition of the product changes through adaptation, through the understanding of the market, which you're doing with your customers. From my point of view, what must happen? The mentality. And I hope over the nearest years, dozens of years, this mentality will result in such companies being created, and I'm hoping that it will give some motivation to the young people that you can do things which are European, which are Polish, and which have an impact on numerous countries. Impact is a very good word. Over to Bartosz with a question of the times of today, the times of coronavirus, of COVID-19, of economic slowdown, at the same time of the fact that everything is being done from home. We're all sitting at home in the companies. Very often our employees are working remotely. Is this the time to create startups? Is this the time for us to cooperate on startups, searching for the connections between the companies and others? Major companies have their own issues, the smaller ones need to go about looking for solutions in those difficult times. Do you think that's the right time? I think this is a time different than usually, but just as good as usually. It gives us a sort of experience which we had not had before. As we know, the market cycles are there, and those breakdowns and growth turn out for different reasons. Economic, well, this time for a very uncool one, due to a disease spreading, but I do remember the times before the pandemics, and I hope that soon it will run out. Is it more startups coming up to you today, or fewer? when you're observing it? Well, I think the effect will be observed in the longer time horizon. Please remember, numerous topics arising today, or which used to arise half a year ago, were in the heads of people many years ago. So that's a delayed effect. We'll probably see it in the horizon of the next year, but I don't feel some larger slowdown in numerous topics, especially that, as a matter of fact, we're speaking more and more of the digital economy. So we're checking the digital economy, the migration into the digital economy. So those ideas are abundant. Okay, our time is running. It's end. I thank you very much. I'm very happy for having noted down a couple of things, because that's a recipe for success, I think. And this is the success I'm wishing to ZEN, to Mastercard, in their search for the further startup. Thank you very much for today. Bartosz, Ciołkowski, Mastercard, Dawid Rożek from ZEN. And in this peace of mind, I'm leaving you. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. A lot of ZEN for everybody.